Oh
please?
yeah, absolutely. They all deserve to be completely pardoned. If you want to do this pardon thing like Biden did, they didn't do anything. They didn't do anything. They didn't commit sedition. They didn't commit insurrection. They didn't do anything. It was a protest. It was the most ridiculous thing around. And by the way, I am monetized on YouTube, and that's
I thought,
Lionel Nation. Yeah,
yeah, I thought you
I
was.
don't know about after today, but yeah, I am. Last time I checked, yeah.
Lionel, have you ever heard of a person doing evil deeds and the case got dismissed because they were found to be possessed by a demon?
Not by a demon, but if they were found not guilty by reason of insanity. Absolutely. But the question is, you have to not know the difference between good and right or wrong, not good or evil, right or wrong. That's the only thing. And if it's because of demon possession, so be it.
So I was in second grade, towers attack, could see the smoke. Do you believe that marked the takeover of the USA? And do you hope in a free nation?
No, I believe, put it this way, I do not know anybody knows for sure, up to and including Bush and Cheney. I don't think anybody knows. I think plausible deniability. I don't think they were surprised. But all I know is there is a handful of people, Shaun, as you know, who run the world, and they will do everything and anything sometimes to get their point across. They're evil. They are diabolical. Look at NATO. Look what's happening with Russia. Look at our own Victoria Nuland. Look at Zbigniew Brzezinski. Look at these people. Look what NATO does. They're like playing chess. Globalists, these people, they to them it's I. So I could see somebody saying, let's try something. Do you know that on the day of 9/11 there was, don't quote me, like 20 or 30 or so actual war games, drills going on that day dealing with hijacked airplanes? Isn't that interesting? And right afterwards, guess what? We involve ourselves right in Iraq and Afghanistan. Afghanistan, which happens to be, by the way, the Saudi Arabia of lithium, interestingly enough. And also, as the great Gerald Salenti says, what would have been the chances of our invading Iraq if the main export was broccoli? So everything fits into place. And as a friend of mine said, do you think, let's assume when those planes hit that the buildings did not fall. Let's assume the fire was put out. Would we be in Iraq? Because remember, in 93 or whatever, the World Trade Center, there was a bomb at the basement, but it didn't go down. Assuming that didn't happen. And one of these days, we're going to find out about Building 7. This is the building at 5:40 p.m. Nobody knows about this. 5:40 p.m., hit by nothing. It fell at free fall speed. You can time it. Now, you don't have to be an architectural engineer or any kind of physicist to understand that if something falls with no resistance, there were 110 floors. Let's assume at the 80th floor it started, and you somehow picked up. Why there's going to be momentum, I have no idea, because the load bearing, it's the same weight. It's not going to just all of a sudden, if you knock out a floor, it'll fall like this because it can handle the weight. But all of a sudden, let's say it did this. That's 80 seconds. See, a second. It doesn't make any sense. But Building 7, hit by nothing, carpet fire and drapes. What about that great BBC episode? You saw this one. The woman who says, and the Solomon Brothers building behind me has fallen. And there's this oops, there's this arrow. How about the fact that we have in Flight 93 in Shanksville, there's no plane there? Little things like that. How about the Pentagon? How about the Pentagon was hit by a plane that basically was doing a 330-degree arc, dropped 13,000 feet, flew 6 feet off the ground, and left a hole about 10 feet in diameter. I mean,
so how's following on what you said about NATO? How's Trump going to deal with NATO, Zelensky, Netanyahu, etc. from here?
Netanyahu, I think he's going to say, "Baby, I've had enough of you. You're a pain in the ass, and I'm not going to embarrass you on purpose, but we're done." That's why TikTok came back like that. He's not. He is. This is ridiculous. We don't have enough money to keep going your way. And what also is the world. I don't know where you are, or I know where you are, but all you have to do is watch the great Judge Napolitano Mearsheimer, Jeffrey Sachs, Scott Ritter. I'll go down the list. And the world, international, the ICC, ICJ, they're screaming genocide and ethnic cleansing and apartheid. But here, nothing. Nothing. I mean, do I have to tell you something if I said to you, hey, listen, that what? You got a problem here? What is it? Yeah, I've got this Israel, huh? And we kind of really don't want to deal with the Palestinians. Okay, here's what we do. October the 7th, they're going to be planning this for 2 years. You have Mossad, the greatest, the most incredible intelligence organization. You're going to miss this one. You're going to be caught off guard, even though they've been planning this forever. You've got spooks everywhere. You know everybody's phone number, but this you're going to miss. So they're going to come in with a bulldozer and hang glide. Okay, fine. You're going to be asleep at the switch. And then for the next year, you're going to level, destroy it because Hamas is underground. So what you do is you take out this hospital, this school, this apartment building, this function. You just destroy this. Why? Because they're underground. And you keep saying this. And you say, and we're not going to stop until we stop Hamas. You go, but there's nothing there. We're not going to stop. Americans, because they're basically, many of them are saying whatever you want. And I'm sorry, how people suggest there is no Israel lobby, it's like saying there's no gun lobby or there's no climate lobby. What's the matter with you? Look, I'm a realist. I don't mean anybody harm, but I can tell BS like the next person. But Americans don't know anything about this. We only live here. We don't know anything about. Listen, I think our illegal alien problem, what Europe's going through, is an abomination. Did you see that the piece on X that came recently? Or I'm finally being able to say X. I used to call it Twitter. Now it's X. At some gym, well, all these Europeans. I don't know what your thoughts are on Tommy Robinson, but is he making this up? Is this a joke? Is this I know that could be a touchy subject, but is this some kind of a joke? Do you think there aren't groups of people, hordes and passels of horrible people doing terrible things en masse? What do you think is?
That's what Maggie Oliver, the ex-cop who's coming on Wednesday, who got the yellow light, that's what she's talking about, is all this stuff. She's been talking about it for years. She's a wonderful person. She got run out of the police and discriminated against, and they tried to make her life hell.
Because it was true.
Because she was supporting these kids who these heinous things had happened to at the hands of these gangs.
She's a cop.
Yeah.
Try going to, whether it's Pakistan or wherever it is, try going to their country and you do that. Try that one. Good luck. I don't understand how we're supposed to pretend that everything is groovy now. I don't understand this. My wife has done it at Lynn's Warriors on YouTube. I'm so sick of this. What is happening? I thought kids were just off limits. You just don't touch kids. Do whatever you want. Kids are a different story. Apparently, no. This is the biggest. I don't want to use the T word, but transportation, whatever your Atwood code word is.
That's good.
But this is the biggest, that and extortion. You mentioned this client list. Tracy, get it through your head, honey, or sir, whatever. No, Tracy. It's not the client list. It's the videos, the evidence. I don't care about the list. A lot of people went to these places to see the E-Man, who had nothing to do with it. He had guests. There were people all the time. He entertained. There were people, the kids, the lists mean nothing. It's the evidence. Do you think the names would be? You know, Elon is absolutely out of control. Do you notice how quick Vivek Ramaswamy got booted from the Doge thing? Vivek Ramaswamy was his co-head of Department of Government Efficiency, Doge. Vivek Ramaswamy. I said, look at your clock. It'll be out by midnight. Well, it took a little bit longer. He's done. Elon is having the time of his life. Elon is, oh my God, fretted. Stephen Greer as the ambassador to SpaceX. Dear God, no. Dear God. Have you heard Greer? Are you familiar with him?
Oh, yes.
Oh, he's done more to me. He sounds like a lunatic. I'm not saying he is, but when you said there was I have information from sources that there is going to be the greatest revolt, and that people's lives have been, and they come in peace. Like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? Why does everybody think that people from outer space are nice people? What, first of all, do you know what we do to anything that we capture as humans? What do? We eat them, corral them, castrate them, breed them, put them in pens. Why do
Probe
people
them.
think they're what?
Probe them.
Oh yeah. Anal probes are a big thing. You always hear this story. Some guy who says, I was outside my house and it was about 10:45. I was outside feeding my dog and I saw this light there and that thing. And next thing you know, I said, what the hell? And I was paralyzed. And next thing you know, they bent me over, and this son of a bitch comes out there, looks like big old head, and these spindly hands. And I said, what's that? He had like a long tube. I said, hang on now, you're not gonna do that what I think you are. Swear to God. Next thing you know, came right out my nose. He was digging around. I said, what the hell do you want? They have a real fixation over our anuses. I don't know why. They don't want to talk to me. They don't want to mess with my mind, my heart. See how fast I can run. But when it comes to that fanny, man, they just, God almighty. Look at this. I just spat my drink everywhere. Casey Melville. See, I think I would have a good, there's something that is so, you realize that voice growing up, there's so many people I know who speak just like this. And it's universally hysterical because it comes across as retarded, which I mean, for whatever the word is, it really does. But I've always wondered, I don't know if there are things out there, and I don't know about, but I do know that if I have never ever pulled my car over in the middle of a road trip, gotten out, saw an anthill, and got down on my hands and knees to discuss nuclear fusion with it. So I just don't know why anybody wants to talk to us. Do I do stand up? Absolutely. February 22nd at the Cutting Room in New York City. I don't even do stand up. I come on, I just tell people what happens. I tell people what happens, the truth, and it's funny. How much is humans? What language is this? How much is humans? How much is sentient? Evil AI, only half joking. What the hell does that mean?
If you've got any questions, folks.
How much is humans?
We've got 15 minutes left with Lionel.
How much is humans? How much is sentient evil AI? I think one of these stories, I got to tell you this, the funniest story to me, I was reading something the other day, and please, speaking of, I was reading one day something about this, and just bear with me. Have you heard about fecal transplantation? Now, hang on a second.
Yes.
Okay. There are people who have C. diff, and these their gut biomes and biota. People are dying. When you talk about diarrhea, we're not talking about, excuse me, no, I'm going to run to the loo. No, we're talking about, and you need fluids and you're going to die. So somebody said years ago, I have an idea. Why don't we take somebody who has real stable E. coli in their feces? Let's take that, kind of blend it, and introduce it via like a colonoscopy into somebody who has this. Okay. And it's a hell of an idea. So anyway, I'm sure they said, excuse me, what? Let's take somebody who's got some good E. coli, grind it up, shove it up there. All right. Now, lo and behold, it saved lives. And it makes perfect sense. That is what Trump is. He's fecal transplantation. You take him, You put him in this imbalance. You let him just kind of work his magic like fecal stem cells, pluripotent things are changing. And the next thing you know, you're getting your green light back. We're talking about things. Starmer's getting worried. Trudeau leaves. It's like, what's happening? We live in the gut. We live in a world of E. coli. We live in a world of fecal mess. Everything's messed up. Trump comes in, and the next thing you know, it's like, hey, we're regular again. We're not cramping and running to the loo.
So, what's your thoughts on the drilling President Trump wants to do with our oil? Fecal transplantation?
Yeah. You laugh about this, but you're going to be talking about this. You're going to say, hello, yes, Jeeves. You know, have you ever heard about fecal transplantation? Yes, Mr. Starmer. Yes. Question from me. Yes. Fecal transplantation. That is going to be our code word. Drilling, drill. Do I make myself clear? Lionel is definitely one of my 6 dinner guests. If I could have anyone, I've nursed people with C. diff. It's no. See, people laugh about that. People, no, C. diff. It's no.
Do you remember the sentient bot rumor? Winter 2022, people lost their heads then. What's your thoughts?
I don't know about. By the way, Welsh gold. That sounds like a kind of a cannabis. Doesn't it sound like something you can buy at an apothecary? I don't know. By the way, I did this one time. I was on a show, and during the course, I said, excuse me, I'm sorry. I said, I'm just, the lights. No, he goes, no, that's quite all right. No, I'm sorry. I really shouldn't do this. I've had a problem. And I went through this whole thing. I said, the nervous. Oh, my God, I froze. Do I miss the courtroom? No, but it misses me.
You haven't given us a Diddy update in a couple of weeks.
I've heard he's very upset because he's not getting his hair coloring. He's turning gray. I've heard so much stuff about that I don't even know what it sounds plausible, but I think Jay-Z is just like, we just kind of went away with that one. Kind of went away. We'll see. I think we've kind of forgotten about Diddy. We forgot about this guy named Luigi Mangione. We forgot about him. Samuel Bankman-Fried. Remember him? He's looking at 230,000 years. We have the attention span of a gnat. Nobody remembers these things.
Apparently, Luigi's outshining Diddy in the popularity stakes now.
So they say. I just want to go to trial with Diddy. Okay, call your first witness. And this would be my cross-examination. When? Who are you? What? I did what? What year was this? 20 years ago. Who was president? What? When did I do this? I did what? How do you cross it? By the way, how do you cross-examine somebody who's 20 years ago? I was at a party. Shaun Atwood was there. He took cream cheese and Bing cherries, made a paste out of it with brine shrimp, and made me squat over a goldfish bowl. He did. When? 20 years ago. Do you have pictures of this? No. Who was I with? How do you defend yourself? Seriously, that's my case.
Has Diddy's team reached out to you for advice, Lionel?
No. I would just love to say things. Sometimes there's a technique where you say the truth, but in a way that sounds ridiculous. Like, okay, let me get this straight. This is the richest man in the world, right? So he's going to have a party with cameras, and he's going to decide to have a freak off in front of complete strangers so that you can use it later on and blackmail him. Yeah, okay. Bill Clinton could have done that too if he just said, yeah, so I'm the president of the United States. I could have any woman I wanted, but instead, I want to go after her with playing hide the panatella. Yeah, right. Now he just admitted it, but you say it in a way that's so sarcastic, nobody would believe it. It's like, you got a point there. It's ridiculous. The whole story. What did I do? Who are these people? Why did it take you this long? It must not have been a big deal if you're waiting 20 years.
I think you'll have some fun with this next one from Kimberly Colton. I'm going to stop watching Atwood when Lionel's on. People usually stop with fart jokes at about age 8.
Oh no, I've taken them to absolute new heights. Oh no, no. I've done this in elevators. My wife will say, do not do this. Kids love them. Dogs even recognize them. Have you ever gone to the dentist and they put that thing on you, that sheet, and you can sit there, and all of a sudden the person, I said, "Well, you've got it's the funny." See, nobody wants to admit it's funny because I think it's the first sound you make. Well, look at Ziggy. What's the first thing he did where he gets his? Guy can't even speak. Goes Ziggy. What? Control his. I've done something. I've made something. They're going crazy. Seriously. Think about that. When you get to think about when you're a kid, just to go through the whole potty training. Come on, man. Do it for me. Do it for me. Do what? In the bowl. Please. That's all we want. I've got this grown man here. What do you want me to do? Go in there. That's it? Yeah. Okay. Yay! It's the first time you're on show business. Like, I've done something. Think about it. And my whole life is like, I keep doing it. And then when you get older, do you have this I've always loved these kind of adult undergarment things. I was at the store the other day, just check out, and this poor guy standing there and he's taking his stuff out. He had like underwear shields. The guy's 80 years old, and I thought, has it turned to this? But we have this product here called Depends. Do you have that there? Maybe not. But it's called Depends. I thought, what a stupid name. I'd have my brand called Works Every Damn Time. You could put it on, go to Wembley, watch the entire game, just sit there, don't even get up. Works every damn time. Airtight, solid, let her rip, works every damn time. What is this one called? Depends. Bad name.
Right, we've got for everything. Lionel, you've answered all of the questions. Is there anything you'd like to say in conclusion to the viewers?
Yes. God bless Donald Trump. Remember, fecal transplantation. He is going to change things. You are going to watch him do things. And the best part about him, his genius, is he doesn't care about how it's done. He just wants it done. He was on for 4 years. He really didn't know what he was doing. He was off for 4 years. He basically won because he was stripped. They stole the second election. So he's won 3 different elections. He just got 4 years of ready to go. And the world had 4 years of this incredible nonsense. He's back with a vengeance. He has a coterie, a coalition of people who would have never looked at him 4 years ago. It's a different world. God bless him. It's for him. So, and God bless you, Shaun Atwood and Ziggy, and to all of your fine listeners. May your lights always be green. May you never ever. I can see this today. Yes, at the Olympics, Shaun Atwood was disqualified before he ran. We knew what he was going to do.
Thank you, my friend. I'll close the show, let you go. It's always a great pleasure. Hope to see you soon.
Thank you, my brother. All the best.
Take care. Cheers. Wow, we needed that, didn't we? There's so much madness in the world right now. Conflict, insanity. We needed a dose of Lionel in our lives. So Lionel's links are in the description box below the video. Let me tell all y'all what's coming up. We've got Ryan Dawson coming on tomorrow afternoon, noon actually UK time. Maybe a bit early for some of the Americans. He's going to be talking about some of the same subjects Lionel just talked about, Trump inauguration, TikTok, and some elite PDFs. We've got Beverly back with the cryptids. Ron's back doing his daily live shows every day this week, looks like. We might have Kirby Summers on Diddy in the evening tomorrow after the cryptids. And then we've got the big Maggie Oliver grooming gang night on Wednesday. And we've got, let's see, Friendly Fire on Friday. And we've got several live stream podcast guests. We're still speaking to the woman who was locked. I'm about to speak to the woman who was locked in the cage by Danny Masterson for over a week. We're trying to get her on as well. So we're going to do our best to keep you as entertained as we can every night. Perhaps not as entertained as Lionel's skill set has enabled us to be this evening, but we will endeavor to do our best under the circumstances. Thank you for tuning in. Much love wherever you are.